shut the gate, go in the house. Why did it take both of y'all to go in the house and leave them outside by themselves?
I understand.
And y'all know the gate was open.
Why haven't y'all been out with the people around this neighborhood looking with the kids?
We already told on camera.
I didn't see y'all on no cameras last night. I didn't even see y'all out here praying with them people. Them people was out to take care of my nephew. Not this, not supposed to happen.
I understand.
Y'all was supposed to take care of my nephew.
I understand.
I want to explain to you what you just saw. That is the biological family screaming at the adoptive parents of two little boys, Orrin and Orson West, 3 and 4 years old. They went missing. That was from back in December. They went missing just before Christmas in December. And still, as we sit here tonight on this Friday, these children have not been found. No one's been charged, no one's been arrested, and the children have not been located. It's utterly frustrating. Our great affiliate, KERO in Bakersfield, has the story.
The Cal City community is still distraught over the 2 missing boys. There is now a new addition to the neighborhood. This is a small memorial, leaving candles and toys, hoping the toddlers come home safely.
We'll have to get together as a community and just try to help find these children ourselves and do the best we can.
With guns drawn, authorities enter the California City home of Trezell and Jacqueline West, the adoptive parents of 3-year-old Orson West and 4-year-old Orrin West. The parents told authorities their 2 boys disappeared from their backyard on December 21st and believe someone kidnapped them.
They do not just roam around, you know, these patches. They definitely, I think definitely would have been picked up or something.
We have no way of knowing how they got out of the yard. Nothing that shows how they got out of the yard and if they wandered out of the yard.
California City Police Chief John Walker believes this is now more than just a missing persons case. He believes foul play was involved.
Someone knows. And I would hope that person would come forward.
And that's why Walker says authorities have paid so much attention on the couple's home, even digging up the backyard.
We're just trying to dig up anything, any clues that we can possibly find to find out where they had gone and also to confirm that they're not in the backyard.
Lots of noise like jackhammering or roto hammering, like they were trying to dig through dirt or break concrete.
The adoptive parents gave their account of what happened, claiming that the 2 boys went outside to play with chalk while their adoptive mother wrapped their Christmas presents. Their adoptive father said that he left the gate open. When he realized the boys were gone, he began searching for them. The adoptive parents declined an interview today, saying police advised them to stay inside, leaving some to wonder why.
I would be nonstop looking if it was my child. He wouldn't even keep me inside.
200 volunteers who dedicated around 4 hours looking for any clues that could lead to the West boys' whereabouts. Some volunteers shared with 23 ABC that they walked nearly 5 miles canvassing the area. Amongst the group were the boys' biological mother.
If they find my kids, can they just give them back to me? Whatever I have to do to work on it, to get them. I have a home, I have a car, I have a job, I have money. It's nothing to provide for them. I come from a good background, as you can see, and I don't understand. I just want my babies. If they find them, just give them back to me, please. That's all I want.
Throughout the search, you could occasionally hear groups shouting and waving to law enforcement if they found something of interest. And if it turned out to be an item of possible significance, it was then taken in for analyzation. But there was one item they found that stood out.
Basically what we found was a piece of, or a gift bag with the name of one of the children on it. But being in such close proximity to the house, that's not super unusual, but it's something we definitely want to take a look at.
Although the boys have yet to be located and no arrests have been made or suspects named, this community says they will ensure the boys won't be overlooked.
From every neighbor you guys spoke to, not a single sight of them?
No. No.
When was the most recent that a neighbor cited they'd seen the kids?
None of the neighbors have seen the kids.
Ever?
No.
Despite search efforts that haven't turned up anything, neighbors are still trying to think positive during a dark time in this small community.
Hopefully, they'll find the children alive.
That's what everyone's hoping for. But as each day goes by, I mean, hopes start to dim a little bit. Let's bring in our special guest joining us tonight in Charleston, South Carolina, His partner was just on. He's also the host of Profiling Evil, also the host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is back with us. Great to see you, Chris.
Hey, Vinny, thank you. Appreciate being here.
First of all, I'd like to get your initial thoughts about this case and the investigation into finding these two little boys.
Yeah, so it's a real mystery. I mean, number one, because there are two children, that in of itself is, we would classify that as, quite odd and quite rare statistically. And then second, the environment situation and the circumstance as a whole seems like to be a very low risk scenario where if the backyard's in play and the stepdad just kind of loses attention or loses, the attention on keeping an eye on the kids, and now they've just vanished, absolutely vanished. I mean, that in of itself just opens up another can of worms.
Every time I cover a story like this, I get together with our producers and we try to piece together a timeline. And my guess is investigators try to do that as well. There is a significant piece of evidence in this case, and I want to put it up on the screen. There's some surveillance video. Now, we don't have this surveillance video to show you tonight, but we will be getting it. But on December 19th of 2020, a neighbor's security camera shows, it's very, very grainy, folks, so you can't tell who these people are. But an adult is seen holding the door open to a van. 4 children enter the van drives away. The van returns and 2 adults exit. Now for this case, Chris, doing a timeline to me starts with a math equation because this young couple in their 30s, believe it or not, have 6 children, 2 biological, 4 adopted. 2 of the adopted are the two that are missing. They're the youngest. They have publicly spoken and said that the other 4 children were at grandma's. They brought the other 4 to grandma's. They say that Orrin and Orson disappeared on the 21st, okay? So now, I'm going to do a little math. On December 19th, 4 children enter the van. They have 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. Where are these 2 on the 19th, Chris? That's what I want to know. Where are they?
Yeah, great call, Vinny. I mean, here, the math speaks for itself. And so as an investigator, that's the first question you're going to ask, right? I mean, you're going to bring the family, you're going to sit down with them and you're going to say, look, 6 minus 4 is 2 and those 2 are missing. So, let's talk about that first. And so in these types of cases, obviously with kids, your first 24 hours are critical. I mean, critical mass is like, the clarity of the focus of that investigation. But in this case, to your point, if that surveillance is picking up those 4 kids a couple of days before they're even reported, the other 2 are reported missing, yeah, that's a huge red flag. And they're going to focus pretty heavily on some search warrants to get in that house fast.
Yeah, they've already dug up the backyard. They didn't find anything in the backyard. Now, here's the problem. They're 3 and 4 years old. So, and what they said is that the other 4 went to grandma's house, but they didn't bring Orrin and Orson to grandma's house because they were too young and they're sort of rambunctious. Which, okay, maybe makes sense. You don't want to overburden grandma. I don't even know how these 30-year-olds could handle 6 children. God bless them, because they're all 10 years old and younger. But they said the 4 older ones are at grandma's. Now, they said that. Then I see the surveillance video. That, to me, that's got to be them driving to Bakersfield to drop off the 4 kids, because they come back without them. So, someone has to watch a 3 and 4-year-old. I mean, it hasn't been that long since I had children that young. You don't leave a 3 and 4-year-old home alone, Chris.
Yeah, and that is the exact place I would start as well, Vinny. First thing I'd say is, well, who'd you leave them with? And, see where it goes. I mean, because if there is this other, unknown caretaker, well, by golly, let's identify that person and let's see what they say. Maybe they're involved. I don't know. But, it certainly is suspicious in nature if this video, turns out to be, what we think it could be. It's bad. It's not good.
Now, the other thing that we've heard, Cal City is a very small town. There's 13 police officers in the entire department. I mean, there's some other cases I know that they're investigating that it's difficult. with that level of manpower. And they have help from other agencies. But it seems right now this investigation has moved really to Bakersfield, and Bakersfield is taking the lead. How significant is that, Chris? And what could we potentially read into that?
Yeah, so, Cal City, the chief there, Walker, former LAPD guy, and if they have exhausted, that particular, what we call contact site, okay, i.e. that particular first crime scene, then they're going to start looking outside of that circle, and they're going to go to the secondary, contact sites potentially, and that could be Bakersfield, where the family used to live. And so what they're going to do is they're going to work in conjunction with them. And basically, the two agencies are going to collaborate with each other and say, look, you have more resources than we do. Let's shift roles here. You start taking the lead as primary. We'll start picking up, the support mechanisms in relationship to this entire investigation. And they'll probably pull in other resources as well from the federal side and or other state resources in relationship to, manpower who can actually put some boots on the ground.
Absolutely. And again, as we sit here tonight, no one's been named as a suspect. We have no idea what happened to these children, and the investigation continues. Chris McDonough, Profiling Evil, YouTube, The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night, Chris.
Thanks, Vinny. Appreciate being here.
All right.